Okay, let's go. Time to pull the Porsche Cayman S out of the garage. I wanted to show one thing, was this sleek cover I bought for it on Amazon. I want to say the vendor was Corvette store or something like that, but the quality is just, it's excellent. Fits like a glove, has that high quality look. Definitely looks like something special is inside of your garage. And if you have a black car like I do, you definitely want it covered, because even inside the garage you're going to get dust, dirt, look, I got leaves, all kinds of crap comes in, then it gets on your car. So this is a good way to protect it. Okay, pulled it out of the garage. So this is a 2014 Cayman S. Some people like to refer to it as the baby 911. Very similar in a lot of ways to a 911. One thing I like about the Cayman, which was a big selling point for me, is well, for one thing, it's a little smaller and lighter than the 911. In a lot of ways, it can feel a little more refined when you're driving it because of that reason. No back seats. But for me, this was by far the huge selling point, was the side vents. If you look at the 911 Carrera, 4S, or even the base ones, they don't have side vents, and to me it detracts from the look of the car. The only thing I would say I like better about like the 4S is that it looks like it has a wider stance in the tail, or in the back part. This does not have as wide as the stance as the 911, but that side vent just makes all the more attitude. It makes it have a more character, I think. It makes it look more exotic. If you do get the 911 Turbo S, that package, or that tier of vehicle, does come with the side vents, but you gotta pay a lot just to get a freaking 911 Turbo S. So you're talking like 160 grand to get a better appearance. And you know, the Cayman S, I mean, you can get a base Cayman. I don't really recommend it, because I feel like they're just not fast enough. I've driven a base Cayman. It was okay. The Cayman S, you know, with very little modifications, you can get a little tune. I have the Cobb tuning on this one, PDK tuning, a little tune, and if you want to throw some headers or mufflers on there, you'll be dipping into the 11s on a quarter-mile stretch, and that's a lot for such a small vehicle. You know, it doesn't need a lot of power to go fast, because it's what, 2,900 pounds. So, you know, one thing I do not like about the Caymans, or any Porsche in general, Porsche, however you want to pronounce it. We know it's Porsche, but in America we like to say Porsche. One thing I don't like is this interior, is that it's decent. Like, it's not a bad interior, but they never change it. This is a 2014. The 2019 is going to look the same. If you get the Porsche, you know, 911 Turbo, it looks just like this. Well, it's going to have back seats in addition, but when you look at the dash and everything, it's going to look exactly the same. And it's like, so I spent 160 grand on my Porsche. It looks just like this guy's Cayman, which the Cayman S will start at 75 without any options. So, you know, you pay double, more than double, and you have the same interior. So I really don't agree with that. I think they should have more to their interiors as a standard if you're going to get the 911 turbos or whatever. Like, this could have been for the 911 turbo, maybe do a whole dash, leather dash or something, you know, or nicer seats standard, you know. You can get that stuff. You can get comp seats, you can get leather dash, but you have to pay extra. I feel like if you're going to pay that much, it should be differentiated between the lower tiers. This here is my Cobb tuner. Highly recommend the engine tune and paying extra for the PDK tune if you have a PDK and not a stick shift. Really wakes the PDK up, makes it very aggressive. I actually have mine, it is a dual clutch, so I have mine where they have this ability to turn off the creep, or what they call like the drive creep. So basically when you let off the brake and it starts to move forward, I can let off the brake and it's very much like a manual where it just sits there, and until you hit the gas, that's when it moves. I prefer that. I mean, I kind of like driving manuals. I don't like the race manuals because I want to win, so I like the automatic version. But it is cool to sometimes feel like you have that manual control. Not much for space in these. Let's see if I can brighten that up. So that's kind of where I would hide my beer or my little flask. If you got a little flask, you can kind of put it behind the seat. Not a whole lot of hiding places in here. This is not very deep. I mean, it goes to my forearm. Not a whole lot of space back here to put things. I can't remember, I think you can put like a 6-pack of beer without it touching. Yeah. The engine sits underneath, so I can't even show it to you. If these come off, you can do your little oil change. I do my own oil change. I refuse to pay the $450 that Porsche charges to do a 30-minute job. So show you the front. So it has enough space for luggage. You can fit a couple standard size luggage cases in here. If you go golfing, I like to golf, you cannot fit clubs in there. You can, what I do is I use the passenger side, put my golf clubs in there. If you're going with someone, I guess you have to figure that out. One thing I love about the car factory, kind of reminds me of one other car that does this is Mustangs, but they have a great sounding exhaust. I'm gonna see if I can let you hear it. I'm gonna let you hear it from the cabin, maybe with the window down, well, the door open, window down. Sounds good. I'm going to see if I can stand this up so you can hear from the outside. I do love the sound system. It has that Bose sound system. I've always been impressed with the way Porsche, they use subwoofers in the doors usually, and I mean like 8-inch small subwoofers, but when they're in the door right next to your legs, they really hit. And you know, they've gotten a little better over years with all the buttons. There's just so many buttons. I've always I've always hated how many buttons that Porsche has, and I used to have the, what was it, the Cayenne. The Cayenne had a plethora of buttons too, and it was just so, it was overwhelming at some times with how do you navigate everything. But it's not so bad. I mean, you don't typically buy it for a bunch of buttons and worrying about the technology aspect of it. This is more of a driver's car, and it definitely is a driver's car. With the Cobb tuning, I have the ability to put in launch control. I can put sport mode, launch control activated. So it's something that doesn't come with the car stock, but with the Cobb tuning I was able to put it in there. I love it. Again, I highly recommend getting that Cobb tuner. With the launch control, this thing takes off. It'll surprise you. For the weight aspect of it, and the tuning aspect and the slight bolt-ons, you could easily go out and take on, you know, Camaro SS's, Corvette Stingray, stuff like that, and you would think, wow, you know, all that from a little 6-cylinder Cayman S. Yeah, put a tune on it, put some bolt-ons on it, and go embarrass a big old, you know, V8. You'll be surprised. I like the gauge. It tells you exactly what you need to know. Oil temp, coolant temp, and it tells you oil pressure. It's good to know if it's dropping or something on the go. And really, that's all I need to know. It's naturally aspirated. There's no forced induction on this car, so I don't have any boost gauge or anything like that. If it was, I guess that would be important, but you know, and that's about it.